Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Sandbox mode, to be specific. When last we left, these two ships had just docked, and I started doing some fuel transfers. And I've transferred all of the fuel out of the Jumbo 64 and out of 2 of the FLT 400s, leaving this ship 2 tanks worth of fuel for maneuvering if it needs to. The rest of it has all been transferred up here to the lander. And now we come to the moment of truth. We are going to undock from that ship. And let's see, let's go ahead and start up the RCS and back away. Get clear of that thing, and then start planning our landing. Go ahead and leave the rover in orbit. Hook up with it afterwards before tripping over to Duna. So, have a look over here. Now, right here, directly below the current apoapsis, is a pretty good size bed of kethane. And if we turn the grid display off, we see here that right in this part of it, there is what appears to be a somewhat low-lying flat area. And so that's what I'm going to aim for when it comes time to land. And so, if I want to land there, go over here to periapsis, drop a maneuver node, and that's when we'll add in some retrograde to bring the orbit down, so that at that point in the orbit we're already very low in altitude. Let's see, toggle that display. Yeah, I think that's exactly what we want. 31 kilometers. Let's bring it down some more. In fact, let's bring the altitude all the way down to about 10 kilometers. 9.7, that looks good. So that will bring the orbit down low over the proposed landing site. And then at that point, what we'll do is just kill all remaining horizontal velocity and fall straight down onto it. Well, fall is probably a bad term to use, but descend straight down onto it. Alright, let's drop in an alarm. Yes, of course, and no estimated burn time. I'll give it a 2-minute warning. Alright, let's get down there. Close the alarm. Let's go ahead and get lined up on this maneuver node. I'm going to let Smart ASS do it because I didn't think to do it ahead of time like I should have. I also should have turned the thrusters off. Okay. Lined up, turn that off. SAS to hold it. 1 minute and 40 seconds out from the node. Let's see, 39 meters per second. I'm going to assume about roughly a 30 to 40 second burn and start burning at 20 seconds. Alright, let's time warp a little bit. Alright. And just about ready. Burning. Alright, looking good. A nice low pass over the landing site. Not having an atmosphere does have advantages. Cut it. Delete the maneuver node. Let's see how we did. I have to turn that off so I can read my information. Periapsis 8 kilometers. Maybe I need to push that back up just a little bit. Alright. RCS. Bit of reverse thrust to push that back up to about 9. Or maybe 9.5. I'm kind of guessing that nothing on Ike is going any higher than about 3 or 4 kilometers altitude above sea level or whatever. But better safe than sorry. Alright. Judging from the looks of this display now, I want my deorbit burn, the put on the brakes and stop and go straight down burn, to be right about here. And right now it's just going to be an empty placeholder burn. Let's head around, bring RCS off, and bring this thing into position. As the sun rises over Ike, go ahead and assume retrograde position. Orbital velocity is still changing because, well, it will keep changing until we reach periapsis, and at that point I'll know how much delta V to put in to cancel. And I'll have to be moving the node because my estimates are not taking into account Ike's rotation. Getting close. Let's bump this time out a bit. That looks good. .406 meters a second. It's still climbing. Passing periapsis, it'll now be going down. Slowly, that is. Alright. We're almost in position. Setting down, I think it's somewhere right in there. Alright, let's get this maneuver planned. 404 meters per second. So 100 and then 1, 2, 3, 4 clicks. Switch it to ones and okay, that's canceling all of our horizontal velocity. There's a 3-minute 30-second burn. We need to start burning right now. SAS. Oh, wait a minute. Line up with the node. Kill that. SAS on and begin burn. Our burn is going to be late. And no doubt there will be some corrections and changes needed to be made. But it looks like we might just be landing on a relatively flat place. If we can get down on that relatively flat place. Alright, let's see. Surface information. Who told you you could change camera angles? Whoever they are, they're fired. Yeah, I definitely should have started burning way earlier. I didn't allow for how long the burn was going to be. In any event, we're coming down. Hmm. 12-kilometer apoapsis. And we're coming up on it too. And we're flying right out of our intended landing zone. Cut. We can try for that one. Alright, delete that maneuver node. Close this display and set another node here. And pull this thing around. Get lined up and burn this. The idea is to come down somewhere where there's kethane. It's the whole point of this landing. Okay. What does the surface look like there? It looks like it might be level and flat. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. Altitude above terrain is horrifying. I just noticed that. Okay, radial plus right now. We need to gain some altitude or we're going to hit the ground going very fast in the wrong direction. Killing vertical speed now more important than anything else. Because we're headed for a cliffside, mountainside here, and that's just absolutely, totally not good. 900 meters above the surface, and we're moving way too fast. Switching to surface speed indicator. Okay, we're climbing. Can we climb fast enough to not crash into the hillside? I would say we did. But we missed a second keythane deposit. But there's another one over here right in the flight path, so let's continue burning vertical. Yes, I know it's a waste of fuel. This kind of thing is one of the reasons I wanted to make sure I had lots and lots of fuel for this. Alright, now this is the patch where the first landing took place. There's the crashed lander. Cut engines. Let's burn a little bit more. Get rid of the maneuver node. Have a look at the terrain there. Sort of flat-ish. At least it looks that way from here. Alright. Line it up, retrograde. And let's see if we can set this baby down without blowing it to pieces. Alright, let's force a zero roll so that we get it heads up. That way the controls work the way I want them to. Alright. Apoapsis coming up in 2.5 minutes. And about 3 minutes after that, we'll be over the landing zone. And I really don't think I want to get into any time warping right now. I'm going to try putting a maneuver node right here. And I'm going to put in 281 meters per second. Oh, I didn't want focus to be Ike. I'll put in 274. At 2 minutes and 20 seconds to make that burn. So we burn at 1 minute 10 seconds. And that might just set us into a good landing situation. Align with the maneuver node, which by then should be pretty much retrograde. there's a marker 89 kilometers away from the previous landing attempt, where the crash debris is still there. Okay, now I'll time warp a little bit, watching my altitude and such as I do. T-minus 1 minute 10 seconds, we will burn to kill most of our velocity. Hopefully it will do exactly that. And in time to make a safe landing. We're past apoapsis, I can tell because we're descending. 15 kilometers altitude and dropping. Half a minute to burn time. Back to real time. Turn that off. SAS to hold. And we burn. Go for braking. Lights on. Landing gear deploy. I said landing gear deploy. Solar panels retract. Looking good. Okay, map view looking good. We're coming down on key theme regardless. I don't think we need the map view anymore. Oh, I forgot to balance the fuel. Alright. TAC fuel balancer, oxidizer, balance all, liquid fuel, balance all, close. It looks like we're landing up here in a sort of flattish kind of spot at the top of this hill. At least that's what it looks like for now. So far, so good. Altitude 8 kilometers and descending. And the altitude we need is this one right here. A true altitude for altitude above terrain. So far, so good. I want this retrograde marker to be on the top of the nav ball when we're done, so that we've got a perfectly vertical descent. Five kilometers above the surface. Vertical speed is 57 meters per second and increasing. SAS off. Let's start bringing this thing around. Which will have the effect of killing our vertical speed. SAS back on. Altitude 2.7 kilometers. Switching to retrograde and applying thrust. That way. We need to kill the vertical speed, and we need to do it quickly. It's not assuming retrograde, I didn't know. So we're just going to try to hope that this thing doesn't freaking crash. Now, okay, surface 90, 90, 90. Assume that position quickly. 1 kilometer. I see a shadow. Surface speed is coming down. All right, Smart SAS off. SAS on. We are descending vertically, trying to keep the horizontal speed down. I'm not sure how good I don't think I'm doing a great job of that, but it's better than previous attempts, I think. A lot of jockeying around here. Going nice and slow. 280 meters per second. Or 280 meters altitude, that is. And descending. Holding. We might, maybe, actually get this done. A little bit more slowing down. We are landing on a slope. "70 meters to go. Executing vertical hold. 4 meters per second descent and slowing. Nice, slow, easy touchdown, it looks like. 3. And cutting engines. Execute. Come on, hold us up. Hold us upright. Ladies and gentlemen, I do believe we have a successful landing on Ike. Only 19.3 kilometers away from the last attempt. We're down. All right. Fantastic. bloody-tastic. Alright. Turn that off. Get rid of this maneuver node. Why didn't that go away? Oh, boy. Punch the time on this thing forward, so maybe it'll stay long enough for me to get rid of it. I can't say, oh, okay. I know one way to do it. Maneuver planner. Remove all nodes. Go away. Alright. Close all that stuff. One last quick look. There's our current position. We're in the Kethane patch, and this ship is ready to do its job. Let us deploy solars. And deploy the drills. There will be an EVA a little bit later on, before liftoff, to plant a flag, commemorate the first successful Ike Landing. But for right now, this ship needs to mine Kethane, refuel its fuel tanks, and then mine a full 8,000 liters of Kethane to take with it. And it's going to take a while, and so on. So, I'm going to kick back, get this mining done, and we'll pick this up when this ship is ready to lift off.